Yeah, yeah. How you doing, Jazzy?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's that baby?
He's 4.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Yep. He's
Oh,
at swim lessons at the Y right now.
he's
That, that's
4.
that's our jazz baby.
That is our jazz baby. Is our jazz baby? Yep, it is. Hey, Julie, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
It's good to see you, Lisa. It's been a while.
I know. That's what I was saying. It's been a while since I've seen you. Yep. Ron, look what I have on. I thought maybe we'd be able to see it more.
Oh, very nice.
Oh man. Yeah. So Ron, who's helping Miss Vertie?
She's going to Mickey's. Patrick was supposed to come up, but
Mhm.
he's not there yet. So she
He's
just
not
told,
there.
yeah. So she told me she was going to Mickey's house.
Now, Ron, listen, if we're gonna be recording, you want your bedroom recorded.
Well, now am I on? Oh, I guess. Will I
Yeah.
be? Will I be in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
I'm glad I said something to you. I mean,
Okay.
it's fine. I'm just asking if
Yeah. I will move.
Hey, Ron, if you look in the lower right corner, there's a button that says more. Like if you touch your screen, there are virtual backgrounds you can use. Like mine is now my backyard.
Oh, but I don't see the more on mine. You Ron?
I'm not seeing it yet.
No, you have to click the screen and then it'll say mute, stop video, share, participants, and more.
See, I don't see more.
No?
Mm-mm.
Do you see mute?
I see mute, stop video. I see participants. I see chat, share screen, record, and reactions.
Oh, it might be, are you a guest or do you have a Zoom account?
I'm a guest. I don't have, that's right. You must have to have
That's
okay.
it.
I got you. I got you.
Yep, I'll be right back too.
Okay. Got my questions here.
Okay.
So, it's gonna be so interesting to ask Nick what's his fondest memory of his wife.
Yeah, I was thinking about which context he might choose to reply.
Right, right, right. So it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So, but Jess, I was still thinking about again eliminating that question for the next question. The next group.
Okay.
I mean, if Mickey, Vertie, and brother are going to talk about Nan, and they're the ones most familiar with her.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's why I just saw your email about the next group sending them the info, and I wasn't sure if I needed to tailor, instead of sending them all 12 questions, just send a handful.
Right. Now, and then I was thinking on the one where we interviewed Lisa's mother and her cousin, we need to add something about the Carrie Nelson family, since we want them to talk about her house.
Oh, right. That's not one of the questions, but it is like stop 3.
Right.
Okay. We can definitely add that in. That will take the place of the other question about Miss Nanny Pop.
Okay, absolutely. Okay.
Oh, hello, y'all. Welcome.
Hello.
Okay, I can only see half of each face.
Oh, that's all right. It get closer to you.
Vertie. Yeah.
Okay, or you could push the computer back a little bit, but I don't want it to be too quiet.
There you go.
So Lisa, go ahead and tell Vertie.
What I'm gonna tell you.
Vertie, Vertie, this is being recorded.
Yeah. Now listen, Miss Vertie. Now, and I see you in where you at? In your dining room, living room?
in Mickey's dining room.
You know, Jess, is the light too bright?
Yeah, because the light shining behind them, it makes where we can't really see their eyes.
So, Mick, is there?
We need to turn around.
Yeah, try that.
Go on. Oh,
Take my chair around.
okay, then they'll go around and they'll block that, I think.
Get on that side of me because I'm left-handed.
Where's brother, Ron?
He's supposed to be joining. I talked to him a minute ago.
Oh, okay. That may be better when they sit down. Yeah, I think they'll block that sign.
Those balloons make you think about Thanksgiving. You bring your paper? Yeah.
Mick.
There.
Well, Mick, listen.
Wait a minute. Let me close this blind.
There you go, Mick. Hey, Miss Vertie, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you all?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you all. I
Where-
miss warm
Ma'am.
faces and smiles.
Where is brother?
I can call him again.
Okay.
Guess I'll take my hat off.
You want to take your hat off, Miss Vertie?
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, sit down and we'll be able to tell you.
Or could we move down low?
No, Mick. Mick, listen. Okay, right there.
That's
good.
good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very good. All right, we'll give him a couple minutes because it's just now 4 o'clock, and then we'll officially begin, in which I'm going to just read a quick introductory, which is similar to the email I sent out, but that way when we have a video available in the context of wherever, people will know why we're here and what we're doing. And then I will turn it over to Lisa, and she's going to just go around the room, and we're going to get into some memories.
So Jessica, you and Julie want to introduce yourselves? Is that you're waiting for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Let's get us all on here, and I'll do that. I'll say a quick intro. I'll let Julie speak a little bit, and then you, Ron, if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then you can turn it over to Lisa when you're ready for the questions to start.
I got
Ron, you're gonna have to put your, we see this much of you.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Someone else is connecting.
yeah.
This is James.
Hey,
Hello.
good to see your faces.
How's everybody?
Fine.
Good. All right. So now that we're all here, I'm going to first remind y'all this is our first interview. We have about 8 more of these scheduled, so we might have to work out our technical problems and our hiccups here with y'all as test crew. So I thank you for being part of our test crew.
Okay.
All right. And I'm just going to read the same email I sent out. Just for the record, we are recording. Everything you say will be recorded to be shared to the public domain as our history project for Smithville, not just for 2021, but this is an ongoing project we hope to add to as the years go on so that we can keep a great record of all the memories that are from there. Okay, my name is Jessica. I am the vice chair of the Cornelius Historic Preservation Committee. I've been serving on that committee about 7 years. And earlier this year, I might have actually been last year in December, Ron Potts reached out to the HPC to have us look for some ideas of how we could celebrate Black History Month this year, since COVID has got us to where we can't actually gather and have the traditional program at Town Hall as has been in years past. So through a couple dialogues with Jody Clark at the Park Department and Monterey Adams, our HPC liaison at the town, we have decided to attempt to do a virtual tour of Smithville. Now, the HPC developed a walking tour of the downtown Cornelius area, kind of the town center, several years ago, and we've added to it, but we don't actually have a walking tour of the Smithville area, which is also very rich in our history and the roots of Cornelius in this whole area. So we would like to tell that story. Now, because of COVID, we still are not going to be able to gather in person to do this walking tour. So we're going to create a virtual tour. And then one day when the times change, we will actually want to gather in person and walk the neighborhood and tell these same stories again. So we have invited this group here today, which is Vertie Torrence, James Potts, and Gerald Mickey Potts. My name is Jessica Boye. I also have Julie Miller in attendance. She's a HPC member. She's been working hard on this committee. And Ron Potts from the Smithville Community Coalition and just all around historian. Lisa will address each participant with each question, and I believe y'all were sent the questions ahead of time. We'll go around the room and take turns to answer. When one person is speaking, let's let them speak, but if you have something you want to add or a memory on that subject, you've already had your turn, you can raise your hand or put a note in the chat box if you're familiar how that works on the settings of the right-hand side of your Zoom screen, and we'll come back to you if time allows. We do want to hear all the stories, so we want you to go into detail, but we also don't want to run over our allotted time. I have saved about an hour and a half right now, 90 minutes. So as long as everyone's okay with keeping that perimeter, we can always revisit this at another time, another couple days, a couple weeks if we didn't get to each question, because I do want to make sure everyone is heard. And that's all I have. I'm going to turn it over for Julie for she could introduce herself, and then we can go on.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see everybody. I'm so excited to hear your stories. I did create the walking tours for downtown, and I've always been interested in having one for Smithville. And even though we can't do it in person because of COVID, it's wonderful that we get to have these virtual interviews because they'll be preserved. So I'm really glad to see everybody. Thank you for coming.
And of course, everybody knows me since these are my relatives that we're speaking to. The only thing I want to say is that the actual virtual presentation will be on February 20th. And we will be in the process of editing this recording over the next couple of weeks. And at some point, I will be asking, or we will be asking you to sign consent forms to show your video on that day. That's all I have. Your turn, Lisa.
All right. I'm ready. I'm going to start with Miss Vertie first, and then I'll call your names after that. But I'm basically going to ask you all three the same question. So, okay, I'm going to start with Miss Vertie. What are your earliest memories of living in Smithfield?
Well, my earliest memories were as a child and playing in the street across from my aunt, my grandparents, and walking across the backyard to get to Brother Mick and Ronnie's house to play with them, and going to school at the old Rosenwald School.
All right.
Brother and I probably the only living one still living that went to that school. I say the oldest.
Oldest.
We're claiming our age, aren't we, brother?
We don't deny that.
Okay. How about you, brother? What's your earliest memories?
Pretty much the same, Lisa. I love playing in the community because we had so much freedom. We could go any place, and of course, you know, felt really safe in doing that. And I guess our parents must have felt safe in letting us do it. And like Vertie said, her backyard and our backyard adjoined each other. So we'd walk across there, but we'd play with all of our friends. I mean, and it ranged across a spectrum of ages. In addition to that, I loved, after a while, loved going to school.
Okay. Okay.
I said after a while.
I heard that part. I heard that. How about you, Mick?
Well, Smithville raised me. I was a Roman. I both have been in before dog. A lot of time I didn't make it. And Daff and Kathy, no, and Bet used to beg mom not to whoop me for not being home before dog. We played over at the community center where the old Rolling Wall School. We play over there, and see, then the ladies in the neighborhood, they would scold me. They see I'm doing something I ain't got no business. They say, you know, Bob and Wilson don't like you doing that. You go home. And I went home. No back talk, respect. So I went home. It's the early days, and shooting marbles up at the Stinson's house. We had marble holes. We played marble and playing ball on the baseball field. That's the younger years.
Yes. Okay. Well, no wonder it was still that way when I was growing up too, because when I grew up in Smithfield, all people would get you if you were doing something. Same thing. That's a good thing though. Wonderful raising. Okay, now here's my second question, and I'm going to start with you, brother. I know you attend. Well, no, listen. Let me rephrase this question. It says, are you a member of a church? Tell us about early memories of church meetings. Have they changed? If so, in what ways?
Well, I have been a member of Torrance Chapel AME Zion Church as long as I can remember, but it wasn't continuous. I left Cornelius when I went to college, and then after that, I was pretty much gone for all these years, and only came back in 2017. So you can see how many years I was away. But I rejoined Torrance Chapel. But I can't tell you anything about church meetings because I was too young to attend the church meetings as such. But I tell you what I did like. I like Vacation Bible School. I'll always remember Vacation Bible School, and especially when we'd go out on picnics, and we could go to Catawba River walking. That's how close it was at that time. That's long, obviously, before Lake Norman. But we could go to Catawba River, and usually it was Aunt Bert that had us go over there, and we'd have a picnic, and I tell you, that was a delight for me.
Okay. All right. Miss Vertie, I'm gonna ask you the same thing.
Well, I was here most of the time. I went to college and stayed those 4 years. But in the summer, I would be back here and in the community. And then I got a job in Maxwell. But during the summer, Nan and I finally organized the recreation center, the recreation.
Okay.
And Miss Lily Mae Torrance helped us, and we didn't have any money, any funds. We just had physical and public support. And finally, the county started giving us jobs for the youth. And we handled that, and we organized recreation programs, and we would go on take trips during the summer, 1-day trips on the Ross bus company. And finally, the county gave us a little salary for doing what we were doing during the summer, but we weren't looking for money. We were just looking for something for the children to do. And I think it came out of our Vacation Bible School that Potts mentioned. Torrance Chapel always had it. And then we finally started combining with Union Bethel. And finally, we made it a community thing. Whosoever will, let him come. And it got to be a community thing. And one thing just led to another for recreation.
So, and I do just want to state, because I know you're a member of Torrance Chapel, and you've been there the
All
majority
my life.
of your life. Okay, okay, all right. Well, what's you told me about what's changed? What's different? What have you seen? What's different now from the early up until now? And
Well, back then, it goes back to what Brother Mickey was saying about everybody knowing everybody. And we don't have that now. We don't have that relationship now that we had with then back with the children. Everybody knew everybody, and everybody looked out for everybody. And a lot of people have, well, some have died and some have moved on, and others have moved in. And we don't have many children here in the community now, I don't think. I used to know everybody that walked these streets and lived here, but it's a little different now.
okay,
You know, I guess, you know, times change.
okay, all right. Well, Mick, tell me some memories about your early memories at Torrance Chapel. You were always there as well?
Yeah, I've always been a member of Torrance Chapel.
Okay.
And I remember us walking to church, there was a dusty graded road and rocks every Sunday
And enjoying it.
and enjoying it. A road full of kids going to church for Sunday school, you know, and on this they're running what's he called it? Every Sunday afternoon we had Christian
education.
no
No.
Christian Endeavor.
Christian Endeavor.
Every afternoon we went to her house, Christian Endeavor. That was part of that's part of the Sunday ritual, you know. Yes, you know, didn't have anything else to do, so that's where we all wound up over there, you know. But in the camp meetings, that's when Torrance Chapel was big on camp meetings, you know. The stands, you know, and the crowd of people. Cars be backed all the way up to Knox Road, coming to Torrance Chapel camp meeting. You know, and we walk it. We walk it every dust. We'd be dusty, but we went on. But now, you know, with the paved roads, you know, it's
And the club.
and they're done away with the camp meetings and turn them into homecomings.
Okay.
You know, that's a big change in the church.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, Mick, I'm gonna start with you. And did you or a family member attend Rosenwald School, or did you attend an integrated school? And what was that experience like?
We all attend Smithfield School, started out. I don't think Ronnie did, but me and brother and Vertie did. Went to school over what's the community center now. That was Rosenwald School. I think they went to from 1 to 8. Y'all went to 1, and we started. They cut the school out in the 5th grade over here, and we had to go to Davidson from the 5th grade on.
Was that Ada Jenkins?
Yeah, we went to Ada Jenkins in the 5th grade.
Okay. Okay.
That's when they done away with the Rosenwald School over here.
Okay.
Mickey, was it called Ada Jenkins when you
No,
started?
it's called Davidson Elementary then.
Davidson Elementary. Okay. Okay. All right. So all, like I said, all of you attended. What was it like? Can you tell me what it was like, Miss Vertie, the Rosenwald School?
Well, we had, I'm not sure if we had 4 teachers or 5. It never was over 6 teachers over there, I don't think. And the principal was also a teacher. It was a teaching principal. And sometimes you might have been in a combination grade, like grades 1 and 2, 2 and 3. And sometimes it just depended on the number of children that were in those grades. But we had good times, and we had teachers that came into the community and made themselves, they didn't live here, but they made themselves welcome and got to know the parents. And when Thanksgiving would come around, we'd have a dinner, you know, to celebrate Thanksgiving and some holidays. And I guess that's about it.
Did all the teachers travel from Charlotte?
As far as
Most of them, yeah,
did.
yeah. I don't think we had any local
We didn't have
teachers
any local teachers.
here in Smithfield. But when we got to Davison, they were local teachers that lived in Davison.
Both, and some travel.
And some traveled, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, brother? What do you remember about it?
My memories were pretty much the same, except like Bertie said, the classes, usually there was one teacher for two classes. I remember first and second grade, certainly being in one classroom. They teach first grade, and then I guess period of time they go and teach second grade. And but I think we were a little bit better behaved, because when they were teaching in other grade, I mean, we weren't running around acting crazy. I mean, we were in our seats. And I had a teacher that I just absolutely loved, and her name was Miss Diamond.
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Diamond.
And I will never forget Miss Diamond.
She
And
taught
that
all
was
of
the
us.
reason that I started liking school.
She
See,
went on today.
my teacher came sort of in the middle of my first grade. First half of first grade, I didn't like to go to school. Like Mickey said, we go play marbles. And one day,
And look who went on.
I decided to play hooky. And I played hooky. And of course, all of us went to the same school, me, Mickey, Def. So when they got home, they said, brother didn't go to school today. So you know what I had to pay. But at any rate, after that, I started to go regular. But I certainly remember fondly, and a smile still comes on my face when I remember Miss Diamond.
Nice. Okay. My next question, I'm gonna start with, well, let me start with you, brother. Maybe you were here, but do you remember the Smithfield Community Men? If so, what do you remember about the group?
They were really an incredible group of men. And they are responsible for having started that community center, which now exists. But at that time, those men were so devoted to the community, and they had pride in the community. Every one of those men had pride in the community, and they developed that center so that the young people would have a place where they could go and dance and get sandwiches and things like that. And I tell you, they were pillars of the community, and they were responsible for many, many things. But the men of the community center, they were special men, each and every one of them.
Okay. Miss Vertie, what about you?
And as Brother mentioned, they provided that. I said we had recreation during the summer. They provided that center with no cost. It was just ours to use as long as we kept it clean and took care of it. We had it day and night.
Mick, you got some memories about the men?
Yes, like brother said, they were incredible men.
They were.
And I remember when they got the chance to get it, they had to go to Charlotte and meet with the Board of Education, and because they were talking about turning it down. So they got a group and they went down, and they got some kind of agreement that they bought it for a little or nothing. Now, this is something to make it legal.
Mhm.
You know, so they, I remember them going down the road, getting the papers drawn. They had to organize, but they had to organize first, you know. They had to be organization before they could go, you know, with legal terms, you know, tax numbers and all, you know, to be able to do it. So the county sold them that building, and they worked hard on the inside, redoing it to make it usable.
Okay.
They sure did.
So my question is, because you said they worked hard in it to make it reusable. So after they closed down Rosenwall, how long was it before it was reused again as the center? Or did it just go right into that?
No, it was a few years.
Okay, okay.
That's when the county was closing all the Rosenwall schools.
Mhm. Okay.
They were getting rid of lots of them, you know,
Mhm.
and our school fell in that category of one to be destroyed. And that's when they went to make a purchase try to get it. They started working on
Okay.
it.
I
That was
didn't know
our,
that.
Hmm?
I didn't know that. That's a good history back for me.
and
Okay.
that was our only social outlet here at that time for teenagers. When you got to be a teenager, that was the only place we had to go. And your parents felt safe to allow you to go.
True. Well, it was, you know, when I grew up, it was about the only place we could go to. It still wasn't anything around. And thank you for that recreation center, I must say. My next question, I'm going to start with Mick. Do you recall when Public Works Services was brought into the neighborhood, talking about electricity, water, sewer, trash pickup? Can you recall that?
Yeah. It's my early recollection. We always had electricity,
Okay.
but water, we didn't have water. So the men got together and made a daddy and your dad, your granddaddy, Mr. Ozon and yeah, Mr. Bill Torrance and you know, Nordry. They made an agreement with the town. The town stopped up where the ice cream parlor is now. That's where the town's limit stopped, and that's where their water stopped. So they made an agreement. They put a meter there, and those men had big trenches all over Smithfield, and to get the water, get the water there. And Mr. Bill Torrance and Mr. Nordry were plumbers. They hooked them up, you know, as they ran the pipe and the water there. They hooked the water up to outside speakers then. Wasn't no inside water.
Did it come from the town or come from the county?
No, it came from the town. Mm-hmm. So you know, so we had they formed all the Smithfield community. The Men Center and the Smithfield. That's when the Smithfield Community Organization kind of got in, and we got a couple of grants, you know, and they done water, and years later, Grady Cole done an article on radio on calling us Mullenberg.
On as well.
Germ City, you know, it's documented. We would call Germ City, USA. And that's when they started working on the county to get water, get sewage in. And Dr. Martin, who's a professor at Davidson, but later went to representatives, went to Raleigh as a representative, and he came back to Charlotte, and he was served on the board, county board, and we got to him, and he helped us get sewage in. So yeah, and they put the sewage in, but each family had to pay, yeah, or what your sewage bill was, plus an extra amount to it got paid for. Yeah.
So the residents paid for their.
Oh yeah, we paid for the hookup, and we paid basically what the county had put in from the grant part to what they had to put in. We pay that back.
But it wasn't much, was it?
No, it didn't cost each family, but very, very little. You know, it wasn't all that much we had to pay. Over and above what we used, what your usage was.
So, Mickey, were all the families able to afford to pay it?
Somehow everybody hooked up, didn't it?
Yeah, everybody hooked up. Yeah, everybody, you know, pretty much paid, you know.
So now, were they converted from septic tanks to the sewer, or did some people still have outdoor toilets?
No, the health department came through.
Everybody had to have,
and everybody had to tap, had to tap on.
Okay.
So that's what they were. And for about 3 years, the health department come through and check for wet places and see if anybody was still using the sewer. And they had to tap on to the county system.
How many families or homes were in there about that time?
So Lisa, one of
so Smithfield Lane was not there.
Right, I didn't hear you.
One of the reports that I saw in the paper said there were at least about 400 people in the community then.
Really?
Say what?
Ron, we can't hear you well.
Yep. Come up to your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the newspaper articles said that there were about 400 people in the community in Smithfield.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there were about 80 or 90 or 100 families in all, wasn't there?
That sounds about right. Every time you count all the children.
Yeah, and you count all the children, sure it was.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead, brother. I saw your hand.
I thought it was closer to 50 families, because now it depends on what you're talking about. When I was growing up in Smithville, Burton Lane didn't exist. Smithville Lane didn't exist. Houses were not on the other side of Catawba, so that there was a field there. No houses were on the other side of Ferry Street. It was nothing but a field. So basically, Smithville consisted of Ferry Street, and I don't think they'd named it Vivian by that time, going down past the school, South Hill Street, or going back up to North Hill Street when you get to Catawba. So I don't think it was 100 families.
Okay.
Well, then you had to go down this hill behind the store.
Oh yeah, but there were only 3 families down there initially, Mickey, remember? The Evans family.
The Burton family.
And the Burton family, that's right, and a blacksmith shop.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Yeah,
I wasn't here.
Uh-huh.
I had left by the time the sewage was put in, but I certainly have vivid memories about the men digging the trenches, and this was all volunteer.
Wow.
Right.
Did not get paid a cent, and they all volunteered to dig these trenches so that running water could be brought to Smithville, because as Mickey said, they planned to stop it up there where that,
I was thinking
that
about
ice cream parlor is. And I remember too, Mickey, before electricity, because we used kerosene lamps.
And I couldn't stand it.
And the other thing that I remember was that when electricity was brought in, our mother was collected the money, kept the list, collected the money for everybody who was on the line. And the same thing happened with the water. If they were on the water line, she collected the money, and I guess they turned it back into the town.
Okay.
But it was all volunteer, and all those men that most of those men that you just mentioned.
Okay. So the town actually didn't help you guys. It was the city of Charlotte that really kind of got that.
Mecklenburg County.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Ron, before I go to the next question, I can only see this much of
Your glasses.
I tried to text you, but I guess you don't have your phone beside.
I was going to ask y'all before we go on, can anybody put a year to the electricity, James, and then a year, like when were the trenches? I know we have that newspaper article to cross-reference, but some of the research we've done has a little bit of conflicting time as far as the public service works. And then I also wonder, do y'all think because of that article, the Germtown USA article, do you think that was pivotal in actually getting that to change? Or do you know how it seemed like people were just all looking the other way during that time?
Yeah, the article got the change going. That's what, the health department came in and they said something had to be done. Because I guess they did consider us Germtown, USA.
Okay.
Were people getting sick, or were children being, like, were there any reports of the germs actually making people sick?
Not we know of, If it was, we didn't pay it any attention.
But there weren't a lot of people dying, were they?
No, because, well, see, now, the light, and I remember digging the hole, but the sewage came in 1960.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were over on another road when they put the sewage in.
Okay.
So Mickey, wasn't it more like 68?
I don't know exactly what year, Ron, but it was in the 60s. I know that.
Because it was here before these houses were built.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the dates for the water and the electricity. I know it was in the 50s, but I can't give you an actual date. Early 50s is that.
Okay. Well, let me go to the next question, and let me start with you, Miss Vertie. Talk about the field before it became Smithfield Park.
You mean up here across in front of?
Yes. Yes.
It was a cotton field.
Okay. Did
And
y'all?
And then the pipeline.
No, and the later turned into a garden spot. Yeah.
But before then,
Okay.
when Smith stopped farming that field, they sort of cleared it and they built a baseball park. I don't know if you all remember that or not. You remember that wood
No,
baseball
That wasn't
park
there.
they built up?
no, it wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
It was over on Smith,
It was
Smith
farther
Street.
over. It was
It was
farther
further,
over.
it was further over?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I remembered going to that baseball park straight from my front door.
Sure you did, across the field.
Okay, but that was a cotton field, and I recall picking cotton there. Didn't like it, but I recall
We
doing it
did.
because you only got paid pennies for doing it.
So all of you pick cotton there?
I picked cotton. I doubt
Yeah.
Nick did.
Well, I was out there.
About a lot of stuff.
I was out there. I got more whoopings than I picked cotton.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
And
Ms.
that's
Bur-
why you cannot do.
you were out, you picked cotton too? Did you pick cotton too, Ms. Burton? Who's the
Yep,
oldest
not
amongst
there.
you three?
Say what?
Who's the oldest amongst you three? You three here. Who's
I'm
the
2 weeks older than Brother Potts.
okay?
Yeah,
You're 2 years older
we
than I
grown
am.
up together. We have
Okay.
virtually grown up together.
Okay.
The time,
Uh,
I guess I was 1 day old or something, and so Bert and I have been friends for 85 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm about a year and a half younger than they are.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I just turned 84.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I tell you. Now I'm going to ask you this question. This is going to be for all three of you. Now I'm going to start first with Miss Vertie, and then I want Brother to answer, and then Mick, I want you to go last. Okay.
Okay.
Question. What's your favorite memory of Nanny Potts? What was her role in the community and the town?
Well, I have several. She and I were friends. And when I say friend, she would buy for me what she wouldn't buy for herself. You know, if I'm saying, oh, I'm going to homecoming such and such a time and I want so and so and so, but I don't think I'll get it. She would make sure I had it. You know, she was that kind of friend. She'd buy for you and she didn't buy for herself. And then she was the one that sort of spearheaded us getting the recreation going. She was the lead, I was a follower. She was the leader and the talker. You know, and one thing just led to another. And then she finally joined ran for the Board of Commissioners for the town and made it and ended up being mayor. And she wouldn't hold it on. She liked that side where she could talk on the sideline. But she would do all she could do to help anybody. You know, that was just her. And she was that way, you know, with the community, the town, and her church family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we ran a after school program at the church for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Children were having some problems, and we'd take the van and pick them up at Cornelius School, and Nan was the instigator in that.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a leader.
Brother?
Well, I had already left by the time she became so deeply involved in the community activities. But I've known Nan since elementary school because her brother, Harold, and I were in the same grade from grade 1, grade 6, when we went to Davidson Elementary, straight through high school. So I've known her, and I remember when she and Mickey started dating. And of course, when they got married, it was a big event. And we came down from New York City in order to be able to attend that. But as I said, she was always, keen on learning. And I'd hear about the things that she was promoting during the summer to help the children continue to learn and not forget everything once, once they were out of school for the summer. But I have known her, I guess, most of our lives. And as I said, that was a big event though. She and Mickey got married. And I gotta mention this. When we took the picture of the family when they got married, it was Dad, Mom, Ron, and Kathy sitting on a couch. Me, Daph, Mickey, and Nan standing behind the couch. The thing missing was Betty Jean.
Hey.
We had no idea why Betty Jean was absent from that picture. And that's also a favorite memory.
Oh, wow.
All of my memories
So we're doing something cute out of
are just very warm memories.
All right, Mick, it's on.
Oh boy. What do you want to talk about that lady? Oh man. We were married for 59 years. And it was a happy 59 years. And I learned early, when she started with the recreation and all the stuff, let her go. Don't be mad because she's not at home. Because she would get on a soapbox in a hurry. And she saw when something wrong, she would go try to correct it. That was just her, and she organized and she sometimes we had to remind her, me and the kids, we weren't her students. She treated her like a student, and we had to remind her that we weren't her student. But serious, if people in the community or the town, needed something, they would come to her, and she would immediately get onto it, try to correct it, and I remember when the county was gonna move the library out of Cornelius.
Oh yeah, we went for that.
They were gonna move to the central library in Huntersville. And she organized and got a bus and went to the meeting to argue it, and they found the property across the street where the library is located now.
Okay.
And after some going around, the county board gave permission to build a library, but we had to raise the money. So the Cornelius raised the money to build a library because, like she said, all the kids didn't have way to get to Huntersville to get the lesson, study the lesson. They'll get the computer. So, always had a library in the community, and she just couldn't stand of moving it out, She was just that kind of lady, and she served 12 years as commissioner on the town board, and they know her.
Oh, yeah.
Because she would speak up, and she served that year as the mayor, but she didn't try to get her a run next time. but she wanted to go back on the board.
Where she could talk.
Where she had more authority.
Right.
Close that door.
Mhm.
If I can get her.
Yeah.
Want to talk about Nancy's very controversial move? You remember that when she
What's now?
did the sit-in strike while she was still in college at Concord?
Oh yeah. It wasn't that was when they were doing the sit-ins at Wall. What?
Was it Woolworth?
Woolworth, right?
Woolworth.
Mm-hmm.
Over Concord, she was in college in over Barbara Scotia.
Mm. Okay.
Good luck though.
And they bring her home.
Had to bring her home.
You say she got locked up?
She had to come, and the school got them out, and she had to come home for a while, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, she had to. She was one of the instigators in the sit-in, over at Cornco.
Okay. Well, I don't want to stop you. You good with that? You want to?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Yes, I do. I do understand. And it was nice of you and your boys to lend her to us.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what you did.
That's
Yeah.
what we did.
That's what you did. Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Exactly what you did. She was everybody's mom.
The kids in the community just call them Miss Potts and Mickey.
We didn't say that's right. And you're right, because we used to say Miss Potts, hey Mick.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Now I'm gonna start with you, Mick.
Mhm.
What do you hope for the future of Smithfield?
Well, you know, like we've been working on to try to keep some of the Smithfield home intact, the people, not what genocide,
Gentrification.
gentrification, get rid of all of it, we know there's gonna have to be some changes,
Mhm.
but we would like to have some of it, stay the same, to keep the identity of Smithfield, that's what we've been hard working on, and that's what I would like to see, but it seems as if the young people just not grasping the idea. It's,
Why do you
but
think that is?
when they get older,
Mhm.
they will be wondering what about it, but it'll be gone, then.
What about you, Miss Vertie?
I would like the Smithfield part to remain the Smithfield and keep some of the older homes, keep up the homes as many as we can, and not get away from it and not tear down everything and build these other big fine homes up here. Let some of it remain the same.
How about you, brother?
Well, having come back, I gained a bigger appreciation of where I was born and grew up in before I actually left. And I certainly would like to see Smithfield keep some of its identity, because as far as I'm concerned, there's a rich heritage there. and it should not be completely lost. And, you know, and I love the plans for the revitalization, and I hope those plans don't die because of the lull. But I think Smithville, at least I still look at it as a wonderful place to live and raise a family. And improvements need to be made, no question about that. But I still consider it a wonderful place to live, raise a family. And I think the history of Smithville, from its beginning straight through now, is important enough so that some of that identity needs to be preserved. That's my feeling.
Thank you. Thank you. My next question is, what do you think about the town leadership? Bro, because you just came back and I know you've been involved. So what are your thoughts about the town leadership here in Cornelius?
Well,
Lisa.
You know, I think the mayor is doing a good job. I really do, in trying to, I guess, get Smithville and Cornelius to understand that it's really one community. At least, you know, he seemed to be genuine about that. There are obstacles that need to be overcome. And I think they can be overcome, especially with continuing the revitalization efforts, unless roadblocks are thrown up. But I think, you know, I think the mayor is, I consider him to be a genuine person. And so consequently, he's trying. And it's a matter of getting all the other folks on board, meaning the commissioners and whatever. But I think the mayor is trying. At least that's my opinion, after having been away and come back.
Okay. What about you, Miss Vertie? What do you think about the town leadership?
Well, I think the mayor is trying, but if we could get some commissioners that are concerned about the town, that Smithfield and Cornelius as one, and not about self and positions. You know, be really concerned about the town and its vitality.
How about you, Meg? What about?
Yeah, I think leadership is pretty good. You know, it to me that it can be some of the county commissioners doesn't consider it very much, Smithfield. You know, so you know, if we can get them on board, you know, but I think they're trying, but it's a lot better now than it was, I say, a year ago. You know,
meaning what's a lot better now? The relationship with
the relationship.
Okay.
The relationship is a lot better now than years ago. See, because Nan served as mayor, and I served as on the planning board for 15 years. And a loss of the growth around, you know, I was on the planning board when it came to be, you know, so it's I think I think it's pretty good, but the town seems, you know, well, one thing, old Potts, historical places that you ladies work on, they don't care much about, seeming to me. they tear them down. You know, I remember going to their gent house for years. It didn't mean nothing. They let it go. You know, in other places around town that that were there when I grew up
Gone.
are gone or no more. You know, I don't know if we have any. I guess Catawba is the only old Cornelius still left.
Mhm.
You know, I would like to see them get more serious about the whole town. You know, about preserving some of the old,
Mm.
some of the old stuff.
Okay. Well, I know when I ask this question, you all probably gonna answer at the same time. So do you attend Smithfield Community Coalition meetings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is our last question, and you kind of all touched on it. Are you aware of the housing and the redevelopment plans presented by Willie Jones and Neighboring Concepts? And what do you think about them? And I know, brother, you had already said a little bit about it, but will you kind of elaborate a little bit more if you know about them and what do you think about them?
Okay. Well, I think that the revitalization plan that
This way of being found a lot.
Neighboring Concepts put forth is really a blueprint that can be followed for what our goals are in terms of revitalization, improvement, and still maintaining some of the identity of the Smithfield community. And as I said earlier, I just hope that that effort doesn't die because of the love. You know, the love had to be because of the pandemic, but I think that that is a blueprint that can be used for revitalization and still maintaining Smithfield's identity. Because, you know, this is a place that obviously I grew up in, and it's responsible for shaping me, molding me, and helping me to be the person that I am or have become. So that I would hate to see lost.
That's right.
Ms. Vertie?
I agree with what Potts has just said, because I am what I am because of Smithville.
So Mick, is that your same sentiments? You feel the same?
Yeah. I think you can neighbor I think it's good. And I got some grandkids. Right now, they can live in Smithfield or Cornelius. They can afford. They can afford a house. So therefore, you know, when they get older, they gonna eventually to find somewhere they gonna move away from the area. You know, they not like we were. You know, we were born in the area. Verdon and Doc went off and came back. Ron went off and came back. But now, not many of the kids coming back, you know, that have gone away from there.
That's because of not able to afford to live there.
Not able to afford to live here.
Well, that concludes our questions. And I just want to say to you three, I love you guys so very much. And I know I am who I am today because of you three and all those Smithville residents, community men. Now I see why I'm running and trying to fight with people. That's what we've done. That has been in Smithfield since the birth of Smithfield. We've always had to fight. So that going through all that. Now, I didn't know about the sewer and all that, but all that energy and all that the community put together, that's what comes up in me when I start talking about Smithfield. And I see them every time I'm talking about it. They're somewhere in the room. And it's so nice to have you three here, and your thoughts, your memories, and everything about Smithfield, because it's so strange, because I got the same ones from growing up in Smithfield. So that, you know, and that means a lot. And I would hate to lose, and it would be a travesty to lose Smithfield, because it has done so much. And there have been so many people that's come out of our community that have went on to do, you know, just brilliant things. And it's because of that recreation center. It's because of the tutoring lessons or after school tutoring. It's because those community men want that recreation, that center, and we would have had something to do. We were right in the center. We did not have to leave Smithfield. And it's because of you guys that we were able to do it. And I want to thank you so very much. And to Jessica, Julie, and Ron, thank you guys so much for putting this together. I can't wait to see it all come. You know, I'm probably gonna cry because I'm getting filled up now, because it means so much. But I love you all so much. And I'm gonna say this to you, brother. You best believe it ain't low. Willie got us working. Just ain't having any meetings. But now that we're doing this, we're gonna start having some Zoom SCC meetings. So get ready, okay?
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, and the other ladies too. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure being on.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have learned so much. I really appreciate y'all's honesty, your candor, and your dedication to this project. And I do want to say that is, although we are the Historic Preservation Committee, of course, by preserving our history, and our mission is to educate not only Smithville residents that don't know some of their own roots, but the entire Cornelius area in Lake Norman region, so that we can bring about more cohesion when we get back to the tables to start talking about these redevelopment plans, because we can all just be stronger together. And we will be including Willie on this project at the end to give a brief overview of that project, and we'll use some of y'all's quotes as reflection on that. So hopefully once we build up a really great appreciation of the past and where the road has taken us, that we can all join together to have the best possible outcome for the future. And I mean that with all of my heart. So that's all I have. If Julie or Ron want to close with anything, and we will of course share the project's completion. It'll just be a video link that we'll be able to share around the email and everything.
Yeah, we're very happy that you came on and told your stories. They're rich, and I learned that Mickey played marbles. I learned so much too, and we're really strongly in your corner for preserving the past, but realizing that there's a future coming, and how can we, you know, mesh those while preserving the past and, you know, letting some development happen.
Well, I just want to thank my family members for participating. I think they had a good time. It seemed like it. So thank all you guys for your support.
As if we had a choice.
Oh,
I heard that, Brooke.
We would have disappointed you, Ron.
Okay, love you guys.
love you.
Yeah,
Love
and
you.
thank you all. Thank you all of y'all.
All
All
right.
right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And Lisa,
Bye-bye.
and Lisa especially. I got you into it. I'm still got your back.
I tell you did to me. You will not stop. Well, and Nan, and I just want to say, I know why Nan didn't want to be mayor. You can't talk. You got to be on the other side. They'll make you be quiet. They'll censor you.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
at the
say
bottom.
anything. And that's what
You
I
have to be on
learned
that
from
side.
her before when we started this, and she said, Lisa, you need to come to my house. I'm like, okay. Let me see what you do. You tell them like it is and don't cut corners. Just let them have it and come straight from the hip. So that's what I've been doing. So
And we thank you, Lisa, for all that you've been doing.
Thank all of you for having our backs and supporting SCC. It's very important to us, and we're going to make it happen. And there's going to be some changes, of course, but we're going to be able to preserve some of our community too. And like we say, we just don't want, we want to have some kind of say so as to what happened. Since the town didn't want to give us water, well, then we ought to be able to say what we want to say instead of letting the town predict which way we need to go. So thank you all. I love you all, and we're going to keep it moving. And I can't wait till this comes together, Jesse. Thank you, guys. This was a great idea. Great idea. All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.